The value of debating in Parliament had been gone down. The quality had gone down entirely. Away from the machinations on who will be the determinations of who decides, what factors decide, what kind of speaker does the next Parliament need? What key issues need to be resolved and discussed in the kind of Parliament that we're going to be having? With an attrition rate, by the way, which is over 80%.
Yeah, sure. Are you sure it's 80%? I thought it was like 60, 65.
Close to there. Yeah.
Sure. Now, you raise an important issue about the quality of debate in Parliament. And to be honest, I think while we can advocate for a better output of what the MPs are able to do in Parliament in terms of debate and steering national issues, unfortunately, that creed is undermined by the size of Parliament. You cannot blame the Speaker for that, because Parliament has more than 550 MPs Eriasa. That's the club you are joining.
529 as of the last election.
Okay,
yes.
520, 530, 529. Thank you, Isaac. Now, the Speaker has to make sure that all the 529 participate. That size of Parliament, it is very difficult to steer a meaningful debate. But what should this kind of Parliament, what should this kind of Speaker, and that's exactly what makes Mao's bid very strong. I think this Parliament is going to deal with transitional. Our politics is transiting. The transition, leadership transition in Uganda has been happening in very many areas, except the politics. And it's now time for the politics to transit. And you know, the Parliament is the center of politics. I'll give you a context to this. Leadership transition has been happening in the military. When you look at the leadership, current leadership of the military, do you see that mirror, that the transition has happened? Leadership transition has been happening in the civil service. Look at the PSCs and you look at the history. And leadership transition has happened in several other areas, except the politics. So, so this Parliament needs a Speaker who will kind of have to steer that transition in the interest of the forces that want to manage that transition seamlessly. And I think when you weigh all the candidates, Eriasa has accused us of ignoring the other candidates in the race. I think Mao has a slight advantage. I want to put a context to that, the other candidates in the race. Of course, the race is between Mao and Anita Mong. I still believe Anita Mong is ahead, but she can't go to sleep. And it is also true that the ruling party will decide who the Speaker is. But you see, all the candidates, the opposition has actually, the opposition has a candidate now? All the candidates are from the ruling party.
All of them.
From the ruling party, because Mao is part of the ruling party, technically and legally. Yeah, and then that brings us to the other candidates. Eriasa has accused us of ignoring.
We actually had talked about them. Only that the good honorable who will be buying us for coming late didn't realize we had.
So the other candidates, I look at that, their candidature as a feeding into the main battle. Look at a person like Namuganza. She's trying to take... There are candidates that come into these races to take away from another person. There are candidates that come into these races to take away from the other person. There are also candidates that come to these races to negotiate for something. Yeah, to negotiate for something after the main races are done.
Some have actually also alleged that is what Mao is doing.
So, no, Mao is a contender, according to me. According to me. So, a candidate like Namuganza will take away, and finally, so we take away from who? To me, a candidate like Namuganza takes away from Anita Among. And then the other candidates, maybe they are coming. Those ones are negotiating for the next political. But those ones are negotiating for the next political.
They're raising their political
bar. They
are
raising their political bar. So that's it. I think the race is between Mao and Among. And Mao has a chance, a big one. Among is leading, but in the lead, she's strong. But she has technical weaknesses that we have not even talked about. Let me lastly talk about that. It is true that the NRM will finally decide who the candidate is. And somebody can go there and argue that, you see, one of the candidates, though very good, did very well during elections, mobilizing for the party candidate and building support for the party across the country. She's still sanctioned. How will she argue that out? It's a weakness that can take away her endorsement.
Would those sanctions, you think, be able to affect in any way internal party politics in the country?
If you want to, of course, if you want to hide in your head in the sand, we say they don't matter, but they actually matter. They actually matter. So I think this race is going to be very interesting.
All right, let me ask Isaac, as we look at all the factors, whether from within the party or outside, what kind of parliament is desirable for the Uganda at the stage where we are?
I mean, if you ask any Ugandan, the kind of parliament they want a smaller parliament, they want a more informed parliament, they want an independent parliament, they want all those things. But like we said, we are now in the politics that doesn't follow logic. we are politicking forever, always, 24 hours. But if you carried out recently, I had a political commentator in the names of Bajo. He has a show somewhere else. So he asked the moderator to open the lines and carry out an opinion poll quickly. And he was trying to show Mao's support in the public vis-a-vis what will happen. And it was quite interesting, the results. Out of 10 callers, he had, Anita Among had 7, and Mao had 3. And he went on to emphasize, he was very shocked that what we thought, the outsiders or the people, the public, didn't come out of his very small opinion poll, as skewed as it might have been. So for me, it's very difficult to tell without getting into the contest. We can show our support and our idealism, and the results come out differently. So for me, the biggest challenge for Mao is going to be in the numbers. You know, the biggest portion of MPs in Parliament today are from the East. The East has 101 MPs. Central has 78 MPs. The North that is West Nile, Acholi, Lango, Karamoja, has 83. The West has, I think, 91. Now, when you look at that, when you look at those numbers, if we gave Mao all the 83, all the northern, northwestern, northeastern number of votes, those are only 83. So he has to marshal enough support from the other regions of the place. The East as a bloc, that's the factor, you talked about Namuganza coming in to reduce the numbers, any discontented MP, the other in the East.